And we're just going to warm up, and the first exercise we'll do is just to bring both knees to one side. All right, so just slowly down to one side, taking a deep breath in and out as you do, and just facing ahead in the opposite direction. Another big breath in, push the back down, bring the knees to center. It's so weird teaching here. I've got to adjust my brain isn't in flow. So to the other side, and pushing down and across the back. Stretch one leg and the opposite arm. Really feel like you're pulling your body back into line, just getting it all to center, adjusting all the joints and bones after sleeping. Nice big stretch. And do the other side. Getting this side into line. Lovely. Let's do it again, each side. Taking big breaths in and out. Okay, leave one leg bent, one leg straight. Bring both arms down. Bring the knee out to the side and just leave it there. So just the sole of your foot against the inner side of your knee, and just open out that inner thigh. So take a breath and then push the foot down. So staying on the outside edge of your foot, push it down towards the other foot. Rotate the leg inwards and slide it back up. Once more, knee out to the side, push down, then rotate inwards and leave the leg there. Bend the other leg and just bring the knee out to the side. Try not to let the other hip follow. You can even put your hand there just to keep that hip down so that you really do get a stretch into your inner thigh. And then continue to push that foot down the mat. Rotate inwards, slide the leg back in, and again, out and slide along. Leave both legs there, both arms up and over, full body stretch. And while you're there, let's flex and point the feet, just bringing them to hip width. And then as you bring the arms over, you're going to rotate the wrists and then up towards the ceiling. Spread the fingers wide, clench them into fists, spread them wide again, rotate the thumbs. And then bring the elbows down to the floor, so you're bending them at right angles, and then reach up again. Pull the shoulder blades off the mat as you do, like you're reaching the ceiling, and then let the shoulder blades come down, elbows come down, and the hands come down. Bring the arms long again. Just looking side to side with your head, just loosen your neck. And then when you're back to center, you're just going to tilt the chin, and I mean minute because you'll hurt your neck. Just tilt it slightly, and then just bringing it back to center. Both legs up now. We're going to do a glute stretch. I want to do knee over knee rather than ankle over knee, so there's no gap. And you're just going to bring those legs halfway down to one side, palms up. You can have your head the opposite direction again. And then bring those knees to center, over to the other side. And then that top leg, when we're back to center, is going to do a hamstring stretch. Up towards the ceiling, grabbing hold of the leg and just easing it in towards you. You're going to curl the chin to chest and lift the shoulders up, looking at the thigh to elongate through your spine. And then bend the knee, bring it down. Other side. So knee over knee again, legs halfway. I like having my arms out quite wide, keeping me steady. Back to center. And then to the other side. And back to center, leg up, hamstring stretch to finish. And just bend the knee and bring it down. So feet hip width apart. We'll just do an ab curl hold for me to talk through. Reminders before we get going. Fingers interlaced behind the head. Now I just want you to bring the top of the shoulders up. That's as far as we're going to go. So your head will only come up an inch. So take a big breath in and then lift the tops of your shoulders, head still looking up towards the ceiling. And while we're there, we're making sure that the ribs are down towards the hips. Oh. I don't know what happened then. I do not know what happened. I just suddenly went. So let's go back. Has everyone seen me all right?
Rachel, yeah. Rachel must be frozen because I can see everybody else.
Can you see?
Rachel,
can you see me, guys?
yes, you're back. We're losing you. You keep dipping in and out.
Oh, do I? Okay. Because we were fine last time I was here, weren't we?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's what I'll do, girls, I'm gonna end the meeting and ask to come back in, and we'll just see if it's a bad connection.
Okay.
All right, my loves. Any better? Any better, girls?
Yeah, that's fine at the moment.
Yeah, fine at the moment. Okay. We'll just have to speed it up then while it's good.
Back again.
Yeah? Is it all good? Right, okay. Well, I'll presume all is good. If you just mute yourselves now, girls, and then we'll hopefully be able to crack on. But it's all good, yeah? Yeah? You can all hear me, see me, thumbs up. Brill. All right, let's go back to our ab curl hold then. Okay, so just lifting the tops of the shoulders, breathing out every time you come up. And then while we're holding at the top, just little reminders for you. You want to keep the belly button down towards the spine. It's still saying my thing is... I think someone's not on mute. Who's not on mute? I know. Lillian, can you hear me, hun? Can you all hear me? Sorry, I'm not sure who can hear me or not. Can you put your thumbs up if you can hear me?
Yeah.
Lovely. All right then, girls. Okay.
Your voice is breaking up as well.
Yeah, I don't know why, because it was absolutely fine last time.
Well, says your network bandwidth is low.
Yeah.
You're breaking up, I think.
Okay. I don't know why it is, because it was absolutely fine last time. Is it good enough to be able to continue?
Your bandwidth is low.
Yeah, but is it good enough for you to carry on?
Yeah, it says Rachel Williams' network bandwidth is low.
Yeah, okay.
Let's try and carry on.
Yeah, it's good enough to do it, isn't it? Okay. All right, let's carry on then, girls. I'm presuming you can hear me, okay? So there's nothing I can do about my bandwidth at the moment, so we'll just try and do what we can. Okay, so let's just do some ab curls then. All right, so coming up to center to start with. And if you want to, you can just bring the tops of your shoulders up. You don't have to yank the neck. You just lift 2 or 3 inches. But what I would like you to concentrate on is making sure that that belly button stays down. You can do these set on your chair, Lillian, because they're ab curls, darling, with your knees to one side as well. All right, now you're going to bring both knees together and bring them just halfway down to one side. All right, but you're going to stay coming up to center with your ab curl. So make sure both shoulder blades stay on the mat. It's not a crossover, it's just your knees are going to one side. That way you'll work into the oblique. So just make sure that you're not going towards your knees, coming straight up. I'm just going to have a look at you, make sure you're all doing that. Yeah, good. I'm not sure what you can hear and what you can't. Okay, bring the knees back to center. And then you're going to bring them down to the other side, keeping both shoulders on the mat. Breathing out as you come up, in to come down. These are great for your obliques and your waist. But they're a bit awkward to get the hang of. That's why I always just think about my shoulder blades. Nice big breath out as you come up. And last one. And bring the head down. Lovely. Okay, bring the knees back to center. Just rock forward and backwards onto your coccyx into the back of the waist. Let's bring one leg up towards the ceiling and the opposite arm. That leg and the arm is going to come down halfway, keeping the rib and hip together. So coming down halfway, back up towards the ceiling, and then it's going to come out to the side and to center. Presume I'm going as none of you are doing anything. So we've got arm and leg up towards the ceiling. They're coming halfway back up towards the ceiling, and then coming out as if it's 10 and 2 on the clock face, and back. Okay, the whole time you're doing this, you're keeping the rib and the hip towards each other and keeping the two sides of your rib cage towards each other down the center line as you bring the arm and the leg out. If anyone feels frivolous this morning, you can have that other leg in tabletop while you do these, which is obviously more challenging. The leg just stays there, and make sure that you have the 90-degree angle behind your knee if you've got your leg in tabletop. Thinking about your breath, breathe out, come back, breathe in, up to the ceiling, out and in. Bring the foot in tabletop down, arm and legs stretch along the mat. Okay, back to center and the other side. Always switching on the core before you lift anything. So again, breathe out as you slowly lower leg and arm, and up, and then out, 10 and 2. Okay, so keep going, breathing out as you lower. And when the leg comes out to the side, I just want you to think about not moving that bent leg and keeping the other side of your back down on the mat so you're not wobbling. Okay, if you want to make it harder, the other leg in tabletop again. Think quality, not quantity again today. It's about what you could add to it each time. How high can you lift towards the ceiling? How low can you go? And we're going to do one more set of each. One more repetition of each, I should say. And then that leg and arm will stretch down the mat. Let's bend the leg and stretch. Okay. Both arms, both legs. And then coming back up. Okay, so we're going to bring one leg up towards the ceiling. You might need to pop your hands under your bottom and the second leg. You can do this on your chair, I think, Lillian. So we're going to do little crisscrosses. One leg comes in front, then the other one. And again, we're not thinking about how many we do. You're just squeezing those inner thighs as you do these. Okay, so just scissoring the legs, keeping them as straight as you can, but if you can't, then slightly bent is fine. If you want to challenge your core more, then you start to bring the legs down, but only a tiny bit at a time. If you can, you don't have the hands under the bottom, using core strength to keep the back in neutral. And if you come all the way down, no further than 6 inches above the floor. Okay, now at the top, we're going to point the legs, bringing them out wide, and flex and squeeze them back together at the top. So point, widen, flex, squeeze. Okay, take your time and really think about squeezing those inner thighs. This is brilliant because it's hammering your core, it's getting your outer thighs when the legs go out, and your inner thighs as you squeeze them in. Not easy though, so if you need to put your legs down then come back into it, that's fine. And we're going to do one more as hard on the hip flex as this one. Oh, well done. Bring those knees in, circle the back, or the knees, and bring the legs down, and definitely stretch those out for me. Take a full body stretch. Just need to grab a drink. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to roll onto your side and come up to sitting. Still working the abs, but in our half roll down position. Okay, so either holding onto your legs or having hands free. We're going to do that pelvic tilt. Now today I want you to concentrate on shoulders. We're so au fait with our half roll downs. We're all really good here, but let's work on these. So avoid the temptation to do that when you come down. So let's concentrate on those shoulders, right down away from the ears, shoulder blades down the spine. It makes it a lot harder, so you might want to hold on. Everything else the same. You're bringing the tummy in and then scooping that pelvis under, but just feel the difference with keeping those shoulders down and back. Much more work going on in the core, and then come back up. But I hear you say, you always say round the back, and I do say round the back, but I mean round down through the spine, not rounding shoulders. Okay, so it's round. You can see where that C curve is, but my shoulders down. Okay, so when you get to your lowest point, really think about then pushing those shoulders down at that point. A lot harder that way, aren't they? That's it. So just keep going. You can hold on. All about the shoulders today. I'm going to have a little look at you, make sure that those shoulders aren't rounding. Keep thinking about squeezing them together at the back. We're not doing that. We're not going back like that because that'd be ridiculous and you'd flop on the mat. But just think about them being pulled down the spine. Lovely. As always, whenever I do these, you just need to do that when you've had enough, because they're quite strenuous done like that. Okay, so if you haven't already, make sure you've rounded over the knees. And then we're going to start using the waist to come to the side. So don't let those arms go independently. I did a class yesterday and people sort of did that and then they did that with the arms. So just bring the arms as far as the waist will let them. And then you come back. And if two hands are too much, you keep one forward and just do one to the side. If you need to come up each time and over your knees, that's fine. You can bring the arm down towards that carpet. You'll feel it more, carpet, floor, whatever. And then down to the other side. Now I'm going to take a break, come up and over. I'm going to do the same again, whether you're doing one arm or two, and I'm going to lift the opposite leg. Okay, so again, you don't have to do it. Curling that pelvis under. Do the rotation first, and then just lift that opposite leg. And then back to the front, so it's nice and slow. Do the twist first, opposite leg, down, up and over, and then we're going to do that again. If you find those too much, just stick to the normal one, or stay in spine stretch if you're feeling it's too much on your back. This is my Liza Minnelli one where I like to do jazz hands with these, so feel free, no one's watching. Up and over. So that's what I'm going to do for my last one. I'm going to bring that other arm up as well. So rather than keep it forward, it's going to come up, opposite leg, jazz hands, and come forward. Liza Minnelli. And then last one. I think we did a Liza on Monday, did we? I'm getting all my classes mixed up. And well done. Just stay in spine stretch, hanging over your knees, and then you can glide the legs forward, straighten them if you like. And then let's just widen them to the width of the mat. First thing in the morning, it's quite difficult to push yourself forward. So let's untuck our buttocks and have your legs slightly bent, and then just come forward, just to where it feels comfortable. Is that dog? No, he's not yet. He's got his blooming ear on the keyboard and his head up towards the ceiling. He's literally on the keyboard. He's so awkward. Okay, then come up. And then stretch to the side. And the other side. And then we're going to flip over onto all fours, still doing the abs. I said 3 different positions. Okay, first position, just make sure, it doesn't matter how many times we do these, I always catch someone who's been doing it 4 years, not quite in the right position. Most important thing, those knees have to be right underneath. Okay, so we're going to bring a knee up. So this is an upside down ab curl basically. Important again is where your shoulders are positioned. If you do this and then start doing all that, it's not going to do anything. So push the shoulder blades down, have a slight bend in the elbow, and then use the abdominals to bring the knee right in. And let's just push the leg back because there's a little bit of bottom as well. So bring it right in and pause, and then push back through the heel. I love these because you can really feel those abs working to hold the knee in, and then just that stretch to open out the hip flexor. Let's switch to the other side. The reason I'm only doing 3 is because I'm going to give you the option in a moment to do these in a plank position. Don't have to. All right, so this is the last one. You can either go back to that first leg and do 3 each side in the same position, or join me in doing them in plank. Okay, so I'm gonna come up. You might like to be more down dog than plank, but I'm gonna bring the knee in, hold, and down. In. I'm gonna switch leg each time, but you can do the same leg if you're doing plank. So you should be on number 5 and 6. And then let's push back into child's pose. Rest the wrists, have them facing upwards, and just bend the wrist backwards. I hope you can all still hear me okay. Nice deep breath in and roll back up. Okay, so we're all going to have the opportunity to do a hold in a plank position, but coming right down to the mat, starting as we always do with the kinder version for your back. So make sure you're on your elbows and you are tall out the crown of your head. Don't slump like this. Hello, Dougie. And then we're going to just bring the core up and engage, sorry, you put me off, pelvic floor up and core, and then lift those hip bones off the mat. You can hold like that, or you can curl the toes under, come up into the half plank. I call it half plank, it's probably another name for it. If you've got your hands together, part them. It is harder, but you have your palms facing each other or down to the mat. And we're just going to do a hold there. No fancy add-ons, just a hold. And if you have to come down, come back up again, but we're all going to keep holding until I say stop. Doesn't matter if you do it in stages. And we're going to hold for a further 10, 9, 8, 7, tense the core, tense the rest of the body, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, fantastic. Just come onto the tummy, head to the side, arms down by your sides, palms up, and wiggle your bottom side to side. Well done. Okay, so we're going back onto our back. We're still doing abs. All right, so you're going to just roll over onto your back. Or in Lillian's case, you need to sit back on the chair, hun. We can do oblique reach downs. Lillian, in the chair, you can just kind of go to the side of the chair. We're going to put one hand behind our head, lift the shoulders, and then you reach down. So one arm long, reach down. I have both shoulder blades on the mat. This isn't a crossover, okay? This is a swivel and a reach down. Same side, so we don't have to keep swapping the hand behind the head. And don't just do it quickly. You reach down, squeeze, and then come back. Reach, push a bit more, and back. If your head hurts, you can have it on the mat. Okay, get like a bird's nest at the back of your head, but I've got that anyway. But yeah, if your neck's hurting, you can have it down. Okay, let's do 2 more. And don't rest the head down. Bring the arm up towards the ceiling, and then just make sure your back is reset to center, and then you're going to reach over towards the outside of the opposite knee and then back. If your head is hurting, you can have both hands behind your head because you're just crossing opposite rib to opposite hip. But if you can, keep the arm there. So you reach again and just do a mini pause. So reach and down. Reach down, no extra pulling on the neck, and one more, and down. Well done. Just rest the head, remember which arm you just used. Okay, so we're going to pop our hands under our bottom or not, it depends if you need them, and bring the knees in towards the chest. Okay, going to bring both legs up towards the ceiling. If you don't want to do both, you do a 1 leg circle. We're going to do 2 leg circle, and we're going to make those circles very small to start with. It's about a football size. And if you struggle with that, your knees can come right into the chest, or you can do it 1 leg. Okay, now rather than make that circle bigger, I'm going to give you the option to draw the figure 8, the number 8. So that 8 can be as little or as large as you want it to be, but make it slow. And what tends to happen with this is as you get to that bottom loop, the legs swing back up, and that's the most important bit, is not to do that. If you can just control that lower loop down and up. Okay, we're going to reverse that number 8 now, so you're going the other way. I always start at the top or I get confused. It's very easy these days to get confused. If you're doing wide 8s, make sure your hips aren't leaving the mat. If you start rocking side to side, you're not working the abdominals as much. Not easy these guys, so 1 leg, same amount each side if necessary. Wonderful. Bring the knees in and then slide the hands down in towards your ankles, have the arms inside the legs and just stretch the inner thighs. Lovely. Okay, bring the knees together and down, and let's just stretch the legs quickly because you've had them up for quite a long time. And when you're ready, bring them back. We've got to do the other side. We're doing oblique reach downs first of all, so with the other arm this time. Let's make sure we set ourselves up. It's so easy second time round to think you've got all the technical parts sussed, but it's worth just reminding ourselves. So you breathe out, that rib comes towards the other hip. You're only just floating. I'm probably about 1.5 inches off the floor. Reach down, shoulder blades still touch the mat. Head up, chin off chest. And then when I think I've gone as far as I can go, I go a tiny bit more. Taking a pause when you're down at that furthest point. Try and introduce some breath work. Breathe out, stretch down, breathe in, come back. Doesn't really matter which way round for this one, I don't think, because I think, well, obviously you're exerting yourself on the exhale, reaching down, but both ways are difficult. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. And then we're going to just hold the head in the center, make sure our back is all readjusted into center line, arm up towards the ceiling, and then do your reach across to the outside of the opposite knee. Or both hands behind the head. I keep my head floating the whole time off the mat because I just find it more strenuous to touch the head down and have to come up each time. So I just float the head, so I've got a shorter way to go to reach. Exhale, squeeze across, inhale, come back. Last one. And head down. Okay, you're going to roll onto our sides and come up to sitting. and do some neck rolls after those. So just chin to chest and looking up at the ceiling. Oh, just let your neck reset each time you do it. Don't just go up, down, just bring it down, bring it up, feel it all loosening, and then side to side. And then we're going to tip the ear to the shoulder, not the shoulder to the ear. Other side. Okay, very short half roll down. We're going to come down and pause in stages. Okay, so when you're ready, you can either hold on or not. I'm not going to go through all the technique, as you know. Shoulders down, remember. You come down, pause, and again. It's up to you. You're just doing 3 or 4 pauses, trying to just maintain that position. If backs won't allow this, then you can either sit and do more twists without rounding the back. Okay, so you don't have to come into half roll down. If you can do full roll down, you can do the same, either just doing normal full roll down or trying to pause, going down and up, which ain't easy. It's not easy to speak doing them, that's for sure. I'm just going to do 2 more of whatever you're doing before finishing in a spine stretch. So that's my last but one. So just roll over your knees when you're finished. Okay, well done, my girl, my girls. So I didn't mean to say what, my girls. Okay, so we're going to go on all 4s again to finish off the abs. We've done them in 3 different positions. Okay, so getting into that correct position. The difference this time is we brought the knee in and we held it to the center line. This time what we're going to do is just bring the knee to the outside of the arm. So same arm, same side leg, but you just bring the knee slightly out but towards that elbow and down. Okay, so out. If that hurts your hips, stick to the center ones. And you don't have to touch the arm. I'm not touching my arm. I'm just bringing it forward because that will really work into your oblique here and the waist. If you want to do them in plank, then you can do them in plank. So with plank, you bring the knee to the outside of the elbow. Well, you don't. You can just bring it slightly out. You don't have to come all the way forward. But just do a mini pause again like we've been doing, all right? So don't just sort of like bang them out like this. Just bring it in, pause, down. In, pause, down. If you're doing plank, just do 23 more, no, 2 more. If you're on all 4s, same actually. We'll all just do 2 more if you can. It'd been a lot easier to just say that. Lovely, well done. So nice position to be in now would be child's pose. And just rounding the shoulders over those thighs, elongating the back of the neck. When I'm in this position, I love to roll onto the crown of my head and then back to the top of my forehead. Just massaging that one grey